Hey, true believers. Chris Met coming at you with Deadpool, The Circle Chase Part 3. And I had such an awesome time reading this comic. It was quick-paced, it was funny, it was gory, it was offensive, everything that you want in a good comic book. And not offensive in like some books where they're like disgusting. This just had just the right amount of like, oh wow, they went there, and you're just kind of like, whoa! And I don't know, just old school Deadpool. Nikizia knew how to write this guy compared to nowadays, and I've said this several times in different Deadpool reviews where everything's chimichangas and unicorns and myspace.com, and if you guys don't know that reference, go check out Family Guy. But back in the day, Wade, he was quippy, as I've said, like Spider-Man, but more of an asshole, and it was kind of random, but it didn't get overly exhausting, and I think that's why a lot of modern Deadpool books just kind of, because people are tired of it. So last issue, it ends with him sucking Black Tom Cassidy and Juggernaut out of an airplane. He hijacks the whole thing, and he ends up in Yugoslavia. He's trying to lure out this team called the Executive Elite, or the Elite Executives, or something like that. And they're just like, Deadpool, because they don't want to deal with this guy. It's like, in honor of tough chicks like you all over the world, I prefer to be called Did Rodhampool. Now, if you babes want a piece of me, I'm sure I can find ways to accommodate you both. And that's what I mean, because, Marvel and DC, they started to kind of be tactful because their books sold to a variety of ages, but they're still enough for the weird young adults like myself during this time period. Now, before we go any further, this is brought to you with pride by Fabian Nikizia and Joe Madeira, Harry Candelario, with the United Nations of Comictopianm, Chris Ianopoulos, Calligraphy Kid, Glynis Oliver, Hugh Lass, Suzanne Gaffney, Whip Woman, Bob Harris, Nervous Boy, and Tom DeFalco, Ostrich Ace. Okay. And I've said, again, I know I've said this 1,000 times in different reviews, and if you guys want to, just tell me to shut up down in the comments. But I miss when comics were fun like this. You try to read like one of the Dawn of X books, and I hate how it's just that white page with all that very sterile credits. This was fun. They make it feel like you, the reader, were in on the joke, and you'd always want to come back because you felt like you were part of the team. And this book, the fight here at the beginning, that's what sucks you in, because you get action right off the bat. And he gets these stakes or whatever they're out there, his leg. He's like, ouch, 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 ouch. Hey, not only does that hurt, but I'm stuck to the wall. But I'd rather be stuck on you. What an absolute pig. This is more than just a job now, Deadpool. This is a pleasure. And Wade really goes through the ringer on this issue. What's great about it is after he's captured by the Executive Elite, there it is, Wade's just kind of like, you gotta be kidding me. How many stations you pick up on that head there? Mr. Wilson, we would like to know everything that you know about the Tolliver will. Yeah, you and me both. Torture ain't gonna work though. I tried that on me already. See, it was funny like that, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna eat a chimichanga and ha 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 ha. No. We're in a very serious situation, and he's being snarky about it. It's fun. And he's just like, whoever said anything about torture? And then we get some filler on Copycat, which I'm glad to see her back in this, because she's also trying to find the Tolliver will, and she kind of reminds me of Mystique, where Mystique always shapeshifts to get what she wants. Vanessa's power, in a sense, is the same way, except she absorbs people the longer she's around them. And so I like how each person trying to get this Tolliver will, you kind of see how, their different mannerisms and whatnot. And you can see how she is very persuasive. And I like how it segues, because if you've not read this book, spoilers abound from here on. So if you don't want to be spoiled, either go pick up the individual issues or get the collected trade. I'm sure it's out there. But after we see this with Vanessa getting this information from this guy, we see this very 90s style art, which I still love. She goes, you can't leave me, Wade. Please, I need you. Ness, you're just a kid. You're a runaway, a street worker. I'm a thug and a merc. I got nothing except some fun every time I blow into Boston. But you really don't know me. And I guarantee that you don't really know me either, kid. And also guarantee that you don't want to. And then you see the little device on Wade's head, and he goes, "Get out of my head." So right here, I like how it segues from, Wade being Wade, Vanessa showing the type of person she is, and then we get some backstory on Wade and Vanessa and how they were lovers and how they keep kind of always intertwining in each other's lives. And then after that, we see a cybernetic arm, and it goes, "Pretty cool, huh, Wilson?" And it's just the start. My other arm and legs are next. I mean, if these Weapon X lab boys can come up with this for me, then they got to find a way to cure you too. Kane, I've been on chemo twice, radiation 3 times. Don't you understand, kid? What I got, you can't fix with spare parts. And just in those couple of panels, we get enough backstory on Wade and kind of how he became who he is, along with Kane Garrison, because even Comcast here, what's the name? He goes, that was Garrison Kane. After his mercenary group, the Six Pack, disbanded, he became this is not Akira, Canada's covert spy operative, the Department K administration. So Mr. Wilson was also a part of the second Weapon X program, which produced Kane. But how could they have discovered a cure for cancer and not revealed it to the world? And see, they'd also use some social commentary, and it didn't feel preachy. Just boom, line of dialogue, just kind of like, ha, 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 get it? But yeah, I just like those couple of pages, great artwork, and we get more depth on Deadpool because he was very shrouded in mystery at this time. He would just kind of pop up and fight Cable, fight people from his past, and you're just like, man, what an asshole. And that's why everyone called him Merc with the Mouth, and they couldn't tolerate him. And I think this is the first time it's revealed where, what is it called, where they take off his mask. And it says it somewhere, he goes, and you think I'm going to help you Phoebes get it first? Yeah, right. Well, Wadey, we can keep peeling you apart until you find out what we need to know. Well, you found out one thing. You just found out how I beat the big C. Don't lose your lunch over it. And like, oh God, look at him. And so I think it's the first time you see where, the effects of what cured him disfigured him as well. And one thing too is then we get into this another slaughter fest, just zoom, 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 and we see Weasel. Now, the way I understand Weasel in this book is he's kind of like Wade's weapon guy and information source. I kind of wish that in the movies this was the Weasel we got instead of the nerdy little Phoebe that we got. I mean, he was funny in the movie, but they always kind of made him out to be very much a coward and very stupid. I kind of wish that Weasel in the movie was more like this. He's like, I've told you a gajillion times, Wade, your ugly face is the best distraction around. If you showed it off more often, you get a lot less hassle. A lot less hassled. I've not had enough cup of coffee yet. Anyway, just the back and forth between him and Weasel is awesome. And again, you can just see Wade is pissed. And I kind of wish, speaking of action figures, when they released this version of him, he kind of got the punching glove, grenade launcher, etc., so forth. It would have been cool to see him actually get these blades like what Shatterstar uses. That would have been a very nice accessory to have other than just the regular katanas that every version of the Marvel Legends Deadpool comes with. That would have been a very nice accessory. Anyway, he's like, y'all had to play Helen Keller on me. Needless to say, kids, I'm standing here on the edge of being really peed off right about now. And when I get angry, people usually get dead. And then Weasel too. Okay, so you remember in Deadpool 2 when Cable abducts Weasel, and he basically wets himself, and he's like this big pansy. Listen to this. Comcast tries to get away, leaving the others for themselves. And he goes, looking to run away, Bashir? Weasel? Why do we not discuss this like grown men? Because you're wearing a colander with an antenna on your head. Were you looking, pray tell, for our disc to match the one you have? Or were you looking for this? Now, the significance of the disc is, in the grand scheme of the story, which I'm trying not to give too much away, you have to have two, 3.5 megabit floppies, 90s. You have to have two floppies in order to get the data to match. It's like a key. You have to have both in order for it to work. And so Weasel gets his hands on both here. So, okay, there's a plot. But just the fun part of seeing Weasel just pull a gun on the dude and just ka-junk. And he even tells Deadpool, he's like, I normally don't like doing this stuff, but since we're splitting the money 50-50, I suppose I should save your ass. And that's why Weasel's all amped up and killing people. And just look at the madness that they put in his eyes. Even with his glasses, you can see the insanity. He's like, wait, I have the other disc. Stop playing, we can go now. And he's just like, sure, let me wrap things up. And needless to say, the way the rest of this executive elite dies, oh my goodness, it was intense. And then we leave off on a cliffhanger again to lead into the final part of this arc. But the circle chase, they stick to the whole plot about finding the will of Tolliver. But I like that each issue feels kind of like a standalone in the sense where last issue, he fought Black Tom Cassidy and Juggernaut. This one, he fought the Executive Elite, which I've never seen them again. If you guys know any other issues where these guys were in it, or if this was it and now they're gone because, Deadpool happened, let me know. But yeah, if you guys just want a fun read, definitely at least pick up issue 3. And with that said, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and see if you can either get all the individual issues or a collected trade. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little merc bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.